Okay, so it's my pleasure to be here to share some experience I had in my earlier life with this startup, which I founded starting 2008. So my name is David Bonzon. I grew up in Switzerland, in Lausanne, and I had the chance to found this company. So I will give you a few words about the company itself, but quite quickly I will move more on the different learning I had from this experiment, which I think is more interesting for you. The company is in the diving industry. So maybe some of you are divers. I don't know if it's a common, practiced sport in Romania. We have a lake close to my birthplace, so some people are diving. So you know it's a nice sport. You can discover a nice underwater world. You know that on the Earth, most of the surface is actually water, so maybe there is much more to discover in the water than on the top of the Earth. But still, it's a dangerous sport, so there is a lot of potential accidental situation that you can encounter. The main and the well-known is decompression accident, so when you go too fast to the surface. So we thought with Pandora that our mission is to make this sport a bit more fun in the way that we want to prevent the diver all the different dangerous situation, letting them focus on their pleasure and enjoy the experiment and go and see the fish rather than spending some energy on the safety management, let's say. So for this purpose, basically we have a product which is a combination between a buoyancy control device. So I guess the diver knows this well. It's a jacket you use to manage your buoyancy. This is a gold standard in diving activity. And then also it combines a computer. This is also a gold standard in diving, which tell you at which depth you are, your ascent rate, and when you want to go to the surface, which profile you have to adopt to go to the surface. You cannot go straight and escape this way. So we had this computer as well, and we kind of made a feedback between the BCD and the computer, meaning that when you try to do some mistake, like ascending too quickly, or when you try to go too deep because you saw maybe a wreck and you think I might visit that, but you are maybe not allowed because it's too deep. The computer will take the hand and prevent you to go too deep or prevent you to ascend too quickly. So this is the business, and I'm not going deeper in the description of the company or the business model or the current situation. I will focus first on the history of the company, and then on some of my thoughts based on those experiences. So it's been a while since we started the company. It was not a company, by the way. It was in 2008. This is my friend Christophe. He's a well-experienced diver. While I was not, I'm still not. I'm still a beginner in diving. You see, for 6 years after, we don't change bad people. So once he brought me to the lake. It's not the Caribbean Sea, so it's a lake close to my place. Mainly you don't see marvelous fish, but still you see interesting creature. And he told me, in the next few days I will have an examination because he's a trainer for dive instructor. He told me we will have an examination, and I would like to have, if maybe you can develop a device that could help me managing my ascent rate, because I will have to control this. So it was really not the idea about growing a business. It was more a challenge. And me, I was not even an engineer at this time. I was finishing my bachelor, so it was more really a challenge. I was thinking, let's develop something in the garage, and let's go back to the lake and try it. So this was kind of geeky electronics I was developing during the nights in the garage. And one day we went out with Christophe, and my cousin was also involved in the project, and we tried the device. You can see it here. It was not even a demonstrator. It was really early trials. And yeah, we were quite surprised because it was working, which is nice. So we got quite excited, and actually people around were also quite excited. So we thought maybe there is an interest because yeah, we saw the excitement of other people. They were saying maybe it could be a revolution in the diving activity. I don't know if it's going to be a revolution, but at least it's something interesting in some situation. So then we thought we need to do a patent because we didn't have any experience in the business at that time. So it was very naive. We thought we need to do a patent. And to do a patent, we need to have some money. And so we went to some, you know, in Lausanne there is a very nice ecosystem. At that time we didn't know it, but there is a big ecosystem around entrepreneurship. So we knocked at the door of some guy in this ecosystem, and we told them, we think we have a nice idea. It might be a revolution in diving activity. We need some money. But the fact we were just engineers, we had no clue about business and about how to make a startup. We just wanted to have a few thousand to do the patent. So they made the point quite clear. They said, you guys are engineers, you need to change your mindset. So we had to change the mindset. In 2011, we had to we had to bring people also as co-founder and incorporate the company to bring some knowledge in the business development, in the marketing, and also some people, let's say, more experienced. You see, they are a bit older than I am, and yeah, it was interesting. So as we had to change the mindset, we also bought some new clothes, so tie and even the brand and so on. So we were at that time we are quite successful in the let's say collecting some prize in this ecosystem. But I think that the money was not the more interesting part of this adventure. It was more the fact that we learned that we really had to switch the mindset. We learned that we had to convince that there is not even investor, but starting ourselves, we had to convince ourselves that there were a market and to find where is this market. So to change from the idea of just selling a few bunch of product around the lake to the friends, to really provide a sustainable business plan and business model. A bit later, in 2012, so we had let's say more, the business was a bit bigger, and we had the first dive event. So I would like to show you this video. It was a nice achievement for us. I don't better. Okay, this is better. Okay, so it was just an overview.
As an instructor, I can definitely see.
Anyway, the young lady won't appear anymore in the video, so we can. So this was the nice part of the talk, so giving the dream. But now I would like to switch on the part which is more in the shadow, and I think it's interesting for you. And the question is, what is all this story really is? And for me, it was more a roller coaster, a big roller coaster, where you are not even in a wagon, you are really doing it in a strange fashion. Why do I think that? First, the situation of a startupper, it's a lot of up and down, I think. let's say, for example, you see the product, there is one day you might try it, it works well, so you are very excited, but maybe 1 month after, you figure out that the supply chain is not that good, some components are missing, so you had a dream one day, you have a nightmare the other day. It's the same for people. One day you are very happy because you see that 8 people are contributing to your company. Maybe you can even extract 3 full salary of the company. So you pay some people, which is nice, I think. And maybe a few months after, you figure out that you are almost out of cash. So you think maybe I will have to fire people. I will have stop paying them and avoid a bankruptcy. So yeah, this is really up and down. Also, sometimes you find investors, so you do what we call the valuation, and people agree to pay that much per share. So you start to do a little calculation, and you say, oh, okay, maybe I have almost 30% of the company that is valued that much. So maybe I'm a millionaire. But the thing is, you have no money on your bank account because you are still a student, maybe. And 2 months after, you figure out that the company could be again close to the bankruptcy. So it's really up and down. You have to live with that. And in addition to be a roller coaster with up and down, it's also a very long roller coaster. So you see, in my case, it was the idea started in 2008, and we are 2014, and the story is still not finished. So I think it's kind of this valley you have to cross it. So from your idea where that might start before the valley, so you are in a good situation, you are maybe in a school, still a student, everything is nice, and the objective is to create your company and hopefully have some sales and sustain the company, but in between it's a long run. But don't misunderstand me. I mean, I don't try to disencourage you. Still, I think it's the dream job, and why? So first, I think when you do this experience, it's the fastest way to learn. I think you learn way faster than in academics for entrepreneurial purpose. Also, it's kind of the cheapest MBA you can find in the world. Maybe not for investor, but at least for you. So you learn a lot in every different aspect. It could be a negotiation, it could be a relation with people, dealing with people. It's also maybe, I don't know, accounting, it might be marketing. You will really learn in all aspects related to company. But also you meet extraordinary people worldwide, which is, to my opinion, very nice because of your startup. It's also for me very exciting because it means every day you have a new challenge. So you never have a routine, and it's exciting for me. And maybe more importantly, it's also prepare yourself to have this entrepreneurial mindset for the rest of your life. Even if you don't end up your life as a CEO or as an entrepreneur, it will be useful. It will definitely be useful in all the different aspects of your life, I think. So my presentation, I wanted at the beginning to call it the bride, the fool, and the wise. So because I think this aspect will be much more important than what I said before. So it's 3 different thoughts I had based on my experience. And the first is the bride. So, as I said, this story is about to cross the Death Valley, and I think you should not try to cross it alone. Why? I think this is not a good idea to start in this odd valley to trail alone. So the reason is there is many aspects, but first you have to find someone that is strong where you are weak. This is an aspect because, as you saw, when we started the company, the idea, we were not businessmen at all. We were lacking a lot of aspect in the development of business. So you need to find someone that can cover your weakness. But more importantly, you need to find someone that will stay motivated when you are you want to give up. And this, I think, might happen very often. You will feel, at some point you will think, I have to give up, because according to your vision, things are not going to work. But someone with another vision might think that you are still in a very good situation. So this is very important. So when it's what I call the bride. So it's not people that you will hire as employee. I think it's really some co-founder. You need to have someone that has the same vision than you have, but that can help you, keep you motivated and be strong where you are weak. So the fact is, at the same time, you have to be aware, because this person or those person, it could be many person, you involve in the project completely. So it means that you will have to finish the journey with them. It's not people that you can drop. It's like a wedding. It's why I call it the bride. You need them, but you have to know that you will carry them all along the journey. So when everything go well, maybe you start to do money, or maybe one day you are acquired. So in this situation, I think it's easy to have good relationship with other people. But when things are not going well, when you're lacking money, it gets tougher to be in good relationship with people. And very specifically for those moments, I think you need to bring someone that first you trust, and that you know. Ideally, it should, in my opinion, it should be a former friend of you, because you need to trust him, and you need to know that when it's going to be tougher, you will be able to still deal with him or her or them. The second aspect is the fool. So you have your idea, you think it's going to be a startup, but the fact is no one else is going to get it for you, so the ring. And so if you don't trust you, no one else will. You need to trust yourself, you need to invest yourself 100% in the project, and more importantly, you need to dare the journey. Why? So my opinion is, you cannot know in advance whether it's going to work or not, but anyway, you should not be afraid to fail, because you will learn. So really dare the journey and go for it. I think it's maybe the most important aspect of being a startupper, more than any strategy you can build. But at the same time, you also need to be the wise. So this is where it's difficult. So yeah, this image, I find it funny, because it's kind of a summary of the fool and the wise. Rafiki is saying, live as if you were dying tomorrow, but learn as if you were living forever. Because I think it's a way of combining the fool and the wise. Why do you need to be the wise? So because you need to keep your eyes open at every time, to be aware of what is happening around. It's also a very important aspect in startup. And even though I said in the previous slide, you need to trust yourself maybe more than any other people, because only you can make it happen, because it's your idea. But at the same time, you need always to listen and learn from other people. Trusting yourself doesn't mean that the others are wrong. Sometimes also when you need to be a fool, people will say, don't take a no for, never. When people say no, keep asking, keep trying, so take a no for a yes, but at the same time, sometimes you need to be wise, and you need to take a yes for a no when the situation might be too risky, even though you could have tried. And sometimes also you need to accept that you are not the best person for every situation. In my case, in the startup we founded, I'm not the CEO. Unlike you might have seen in the program, I'm not the CEO. And I think for this experience, for those specific challenge, I would not have been the best CEO. So sometimes you need to give the baby to some extent to someone else. Trust him. And maybe the last point, which is very important. So luckily here, because of what is happening now with Alexandru, an ecosystem is growing. So I think you should really take advantage of it. You will meet wonderful people, and I think it's the most important point in growing a startup. So in summary, there is one question which is left. I can't answer, so don't ask. Say how to combine the fact you need to be a fool and a wise, but I really think you have to. So thanks for your attention, and really I wish you a nice adventure. So I hope all of you will join this program and go for this adventure. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. No question. Nothing about the fool and why am I a fool?
Can you set the device to keep a constant depth, for example?
Yeah.
Say you set it for 10 meters.
Yeah, you can. By the way, when you do some ascent, because depending on the time you spend underwater, you have to do dive stops. So you also need to have this capability to stop you for a while at, let's say, 3 meters for maybe 2 minutes.
Do you have intellectual property?
Yes, I think it's an important aspect in a startup, even though it's not the crucial aspect. We applied for a few patents. Yeah, we had all other startup some issue with that. So not all can be granted, but I mean you have to deal with the fact that some IDs are already existing. You have your own ID. You need to make it happen in between.
So how did you pay for it?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, and I think it can be put in perspective with the ecosystem. So at that time, it was my first startup experience. I was not even engineer. I was doing my bachelor, so I was not really in the ecosystem at the beginning. And it's why I said I had to go and meet this ecosystem to have some money to apply for a patent. But now we are currently advancing with another experience, and we kind of try both systems. You know, sometimes in the university you have what we call the tech transfer office, so they are here to help you to transfer the technology. So in this case, I think it also exists here. The approach is very different. Everything is paid by the university, so it's property of the university. In this case, everything was our properties. So I tried both, and at the end I think even though the university own the properties, it's still for you cheaper to go this way, because then maybe you can negotiate with the university to grow your startup, rather than going in the way where you are alone and you have to find money to pay your patent. And because you are at a very early stage, it's very expensive money, in the way that your valuation is still very low, so you have to find money at a low valuation. So even though you think that you are fully owner of all the startup, you have to bring investor, and they might ask more because you are early stage.
For the one where the first one where you were owner yourself, so
yeah.
You funded yourself.
Yeah.
How did you pay for it?
We did some, you know, in the ecosystem in Lausanne, there is a lot of kind of competition where you go, you pitch, and you can earn money if you are selected amongst a group. So we basically go this way. So we made those competition. It's where actually we understood also that we were not real businessmen. So we earn money and experience. With the money, we were able to pay the patent and by the way, not only patent, all the business development side of the company. And also we learned that we had to change a bit the mindset and to focus on the market.